One of the things that has been very fulfilling to me is the gratification that I've been able to help serve my community and give back to my community and my children. The fact that they've seen all the good that we've been able to do or be a part of, it makes you a lot more, I guess, well-rounded person, because there's so many different organizations and so many different passions that other people have that you have no idea about, because it's just not mainstream media. And it's just another way to get involved and be a part of the community.
You have Patrick Findaro here, co-founder at Vetabiz and Visa Franchise. Excited to have on David Sauers, CEO and founder of Royal Restrooms. David, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Patrick, I appreciate you allowing me to be here today.
So how do you make porta potties fun, and what keeps you in this industry and growing this franchise system over 20 plus years?
Well, Patrick, it's an exciting time for us. It's our 20 years anniversary that we just wrapped up our conference here in Savannah, Georgia. We had a lot of our franchise offices come in and talk with us and share a lot of good moments and history. Just was all around great time that we had here last week. But, our industry we approached everything from a little bit different perspective when we first started out. And that is, instead of being a traditional portable restroom company or a portable toilet company, we approached it from the event services side, the event industry side. We wanted people to, when we showed up, that we wanted people to shake our hands. We wanted to talk to them and make sure that their business was a hit, that we were a success from point A to point B and everything went off without a hitch and you didn't have to worry about us. And I think traditionally, porta potties are always going to be needed. They've been a necessity for as long as you can remember. But the approach is, okay, they're over there. They're out of the way. We don't want to see them. And our approach brought it to the forefront. It kind of changed the lifestyle. People want to use a real functioning restroom. We are in the 21st century. We're not Romans. We're not in the colonial days. We use a phone. It's going to the bathroom is I guess probably one of our last private moments, and for some people it's more of a sanctuary, I guess, and everybody wants to do it in comfort. So that's how we provide it.
Could you tell me a little bit about your module and the different products and services you offer? Like when I think about porta potty, I just think about like a blue box, and after an hour, a couple of hours in the event, it's just a total mess. Could you just kind of provide some context?
Yes, absolutely. So with Royal Restrooms, we provide restroom trailers. And by that, I mean, we provide a trailer with a fully functioning restroom inside it. So it's a real toilet. It's a real sink. It's got a countertop. It's climate controlled. You have real toilet paper. You can wash your hands. Some of them have radios. Some of them have TVs. They're from kind of a base model to as fancy as you want. I mean, our newest models have bronzed interior walls, but from the context that you're talking about, we have single stalls to, as many as 14 stall trailers. So we can fit any type of event, any type of function, and even mix and match these trailers. We have handicap accessible trailers that meet all the codes across the country. We've also ventured into shower trailers. So for disaster relief or a business remodel, we have shower trailers that are, endless hot water. They're all propane hot water heaters. So it's all instant. But we're in our 20th year, we're branching into a few more things. We've come up with some sink trailers, which allows us the opportunity to be at these events that don't necessarily can afford all of these restroom trailers, and they put porta potties out. So a sink trailer kind of offsets that. So even if you are going to it, you've got a hand wash station that can accommodate multiple people and not feel quite as maybe dingy, and it kind of it elevates it, not to the extent of a restroom trailer, but makes people feel a little more comfortable about everything. We're also playing around with refrigeration trailers and freezer trailers because we do a lot of long-term events and we do emergency response stuff. So your local restaurant, if a freezer breaks down, where do you get it? We want to be there to provide that. Or if they're doing a bathroom remodel, if they're doing a kitchen remodel or whatever, we want to be able to supply those things. We've also got a beverage trailer, which is in the events industry, so it's a small bar. And we have some mobile office trailers, which we call quick space, which it's just kind of a box that has a sink and some workspace area. It has a bathroom, so it can be used from a dressing room to a mobile office to a small locker room or anything that we can just go and drop off in a hurry. And it's not one of those, big bulky containers or something like that. So we're testing a lot of different avenues and resources that I think will propel us into 2024.
And it seems like the entries, everyone's got to go to the bathroom, but then you have the client relationship, or you can get referrals and then sell all different types of add-on products and services.
Yes, absolutely. And that's kind of thing, we're first and foremost a bathroom company. That's what we built our brand on. That's what we built our name on in the events industry. So that's kind of why we were looking at these different trailers, because we've seen through these 20 years in business what other people need, what they're looking for, or, where they can find it. Just the other day, we had somebody asking us, where can I find the free trail? Oh, you know what? We're starting to do some of those. It's changing with the times, but also what other people are looking for, they need a bathroom. So, or there could be an entry for us to sell them on our other services. So if someone is looking for a mobile office or something, hey, we have restrooms. Do you need restroom trailers? Or if they're looking for the freezer trailer, hey, well, if you're remodeling this, do you need the restrooms? We have ADA compliant restrooms. It's all OSHA approved. How do we do this? What can we help you do?
How do you recommend franchisees start? What are like the basic trailers that you recommend they purchase before they go out and really start selling the services?
With ours, anytime we move into a new market, the great thing is now people are more aware of rural restrooms and portable restrooms and those needs. Whereas 10 years ago, some people were just like, they had no idea what it is that we offer, or they've never seen anything, or they've never heard anything about this. So now when we do open up an office, we usually start them out with 3 to 4 trailers, usually the smaller scale. And we typically target the event services from a wedding industry standpoint because those are the easiest to market. We can go to a wedding show. They may be
They probably
one-offs.
care the most, right? Like you don't want to have wedding guests talking about a negative experience.
Right. And that's really how we start to get a footprint, in that community. But then from there, we're very community oriented involved. So we make sure that we push our new office owners to be, we want them to be involved in the community. We want them to partner with some nonprofits. And one of the things that we do require is we require a $25,000 in-kind donation expense to nonprofits in their community. We want them to be involved. And that is one of the things that makes
marketing expense. And it's like, I'm sure also personal benefit.
Well, everybody has their reasons for going into ownership on their own and venturing off into entrepreneurship. One of the things that has been very fulfilling to me is the gratification that I've been able to help serve my community and give back to my community and my children. The fact that they've seen all the good that we've been able to do or be a part of, it makes you a lot more, I guess, well-rounded person, because there's so many different organizations and so many different passions that other people have that you have no idea about, because it's just not mainstream media. And it's just another way to get involved and be a part of the community.
And I imagine, like, as you decided between just growing corporate locations and franchise locations, like, no one's going to sell a network in the local community as well as the business owner. I imagine it would be hard to have someone that you hire that's really going above and beyond and offering these in-kind services in the beginning and really cultivating and being the face of the brand, even though they're not an owner of the business.
Yes, that's something that's always been hard to I guess sell. And Robert and I only have one corporately owned office, which is our Savannah office. And we've kind of tried to branch out, like, hey, we'll test this market here, test this market there. And it's just never we've never gotten the results that we wanted. And, it's nobody ever does it the way that you want it done. But by a franchise model with the independent ownership that they bring to it, they may not do it exactly the way you want it done, but the outcome is there. They have the same goals that you've set. It's just the path that they're taking is maybe a little bit differently. It's not anybody's doing anything wrong. It's a different path. And for us, that's how we've been able to achieve what we wanted out of our business owners.
And also, I imagine maintaining the brand equity where the franchisee is going to really care if Royal Restroom has like a good reputation in the local market, where someone that you hire as a manager maybe isn't going to follow the same sanitation procedure or isn't going to be like as professional running the operations, because at the end of the day, they could quit. I hear this a lot from franchisees that have tried food trucks, where you have like, you hire, a food truck driver, and just horror stories because you have your big franchise brand, you have your brand all over the truck. And if the guy cuts someone off or gets arrested for drunk driving or just all this silly stuff, at the end of the day, the franchisor and then the local franchisee, if he wasn't the one driving, are the one that really bear the brunt.
You're exactly right. It's very hard to make sure that those small things don't happen. And by having that independent ownership and that responsibility, because it directly reflects back on that owner and that local community. Nobody wants to have a dirty restroom, and nobody, by all means, I promise you, in our industry, we hear about it. It's kind of funny. You'll get a call at 3:00 in the morning. There's this bathroom is dirty. It's like, it's been there for like 48 hours. Like, I promise it was clean and it was, perfect. But after, 250 uses and the on-site people haven't done anything, this is the best that you've got right this second, But, our office owners put a lot of pride back into their business. They have checks and balances. And the good thing is our employees are awesome. Our guys respect what they do. They like what they do. They're proud of what they do. So even if those checks and balances are missed, a stall wasn't cleaned or something like that, they take care of it immediately. And many times without the event coordinator knowing anything, there's no hiccup, nothing. We know about it back at the thing because it's a text message. Somebody didn't clean this trailer. I'm out here doing this now, but we are where we are because of our employees and the owners. People like working for who their bosses are. They respect them and they respect the product and the job. And it's not often that you get employees who are really proud of where they work, especially at a portable restroom company. So I'm humbled by all of our employees.
But talking to you offline, it seems like you guys really keep it fun, where like the different marketing events, and it seems like it's kind of a fun business that people aren't taking themselves so seriously and you're constantly at different events.
Well, we are dealing with human feces to say, so there's a lot of jokes that you can go with it and, flush this down the toilet and, the number one man in the number two business. And, there are all these funny things that, and you, if you did not have a sense of humor a little bit, or you could not relax a little bit, this business could really make you uptight, because at the end of the day, you have to just laugh at some of the things or, you go crazy. And at the conference, some of the people were talking like, yeah, we were all excited about these trailers and we were pumping it. And, yeah, you trained us and you did all this and everything was great. And, that hose, we decided to go to a flex hose. And, my wife was at the other end and she put that in the corner and it just went sailing and it covered her down. And my face was I don't know whether or not to run, to leave, because
Exactly.
I don't know if my wife is going to, I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if I'm going to have a home. You know, he's like, I just sprayed her with, you know, crap.
You
So
got to just laugh at
there's not too many people I think that could probably say that they sprayed their wives with something like that, you
that.
know?
There shouldn't be many people that say
Yeah,
that
let's
say.
hope not.
And tell me a little bit like the financials to the extent that you can. Like, how much money were you talking about to open one? How do the owners make, money?
Our franchise is based off of a small territory. Usually it's a 50 square mile radius. And depending upon what the size market is, you know, that ranges from a franchise fee of 20 to 25,000. We have a relatively low gross revenue royalty fee, which is 6% on your gross sales. So it's really not anything exorbitant. We do have a 2% marketing fee that we can charge, which we currently don't do. We try to do everything out of that 6% the best that we can
That's great.
because our markets are so diverse. They're so different. You know, what we do in Seattle is certainly different than what we do in Miami. And what we do in Texas is certainly different than what we do in Alabama. We have to come up with different unique marketing strategies. So one shoe doesn't always fit. So right now we're still trying to keep it in that 6% on gross sales. But we get a lot of leads from our website. We have multiple avenues on our website through social media as well. But a lot of it, believe it or not, is just from being 20 years in the industry. You know, it's that brand that people recognize. It's like, you know, there was a military contract that came out of Maryland, an RFQ out there. And instead of saying portable restrooms, it says royal restrooms. You know, we need a 10 stall royal, you know, a royal restroom 10
That's
stall.
awesome. The U.S.
And
government. You're like
it's,
Kleenex instead of tissue.
yes. And I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, but some people associate, portable restrooms as royal restrooms. That's just what they call it. And it's crazy when you do the Google analytics on, you know, restroom trailer searches and then royal restrooms. And it's like the gap is right there. And it's so funny. Even our competitors, you know, they use our name in their Google ads and stuff like that. And so it's flattering, but yet aggravating at the same time.
And in terms of like, is it a business that you can start with like 100K, 200K? Like what's like the initial
Oh,
capital
yes.
outlay?
I'm sorry. I didn't finish answering the
Oh,
question.
okay.
So beside the franchise fee, that's, you know, 20 to 25,000, that includes your initial kind of marketing launch. That includes all the attorneys, the franchise brokers,
Training.
all of that,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff. You know, as well as I do, that the franchise or doesn't actually really get the franchise
No,
fee. It's just
it's a
kind of
royalty.
everybody else's. But we start by restroom trailers. So depending upon how many trailers that you buy, and we don't specify necessarily what manufacturer you have to buy from. So if you want to buy from Satellite or Jag or Wells Cargo or any of those guys, we're fine with that. We offer all of those trailers, but a trailer can cost anywhere from 25,000 up to 110,000. So we normally want to set you off in those 2 stalls, 3 stalls, 4 stall trailers to get you going so that you don't necessarily have to buy as big of a truck. You know, you can get along with everything with like a Chevy 2500 or a Ford 250.
Nice.
We prefer diesel because it does, you know, you get the pulling power and the longevity, but that kind of gets your feet wet and you learn how to back up and position trailers and so forth. And from that, our website usually kind of starts to indicate what you need to go to next, you know, because most of these leads are usually 4 to 6 to even a year out. So it gives you enough time to plan on what you need going forward.
They could just start getting potential sales contracts coming in. And like, yeah,
Yes.
stupid question. Like, so say you spend $25,000, like how many events do you need to do to recoup your capital investment?
So that would depend upon which trailer that you're going for. Our 2 stall is typically in the South Georgia region. 2 stalls around $1,000 a day.
Solid. Okay.
But in California, It's probably closer to 1,800. So it doesn't take that long to recoup your.
Less than a month.
Yes, you can recoup it relatively quick. I wouldn't say a month. I would probably say you are usually recouping assets within 12 to 16 months,
Yes.
of once
Sorry,
you
a
get
month.
it.
I mean, like using days. If it was
Yes,
used for
yes, correct.
30 days in a row, but you're not doing an event. Oh, that'd be nice to do an event that's 30 days.
If we could, it would be great. But our pricing structure, we help you with the pricing structure. We hammer all that down. We take a look at who your possible local competitors are, what they're doing, because a lot of times we're dealing with a lot of small mom and pop, somebody that has one or two trailers that are offering this as a side hustle, kind of like a small side gig. They don't have enough or they don't have the business to turn into a full blown business and operation. And one of the other great things about our business is we often share resources. We help each other out. So like if we've got a hurricane that hits Florida, we're pulling trailers from Virginia from Colorado to Texas to make this happen. Even like big events like the Super Bowl, we may pull from multiple office locations to ensure that our local office is able to handle the influx of such a large event.
And how does that work? Do you charge? Like, do you get a commission? Like, if the lead comes to you first, and then a local franchisee fulfills the order, how does that work?
So no, all of our leads actually go directly to our franchisees. It's only when they ask for help from either a national contract standpoint. Let's say that they got a contractor that wants to do McDonald's in Alabama, but they also have them in Georgia and Florida and Tennessee. They'll come to the corporate office and we'll kind of try to help manage that whole process and submit the company with one lump sum,
One
per
voice.
job. Even if the job in Alabama is $2,000 less, it may be $2,000 more in Miami. But by averaging all of those out across the board, it kind of ensures that we all get the job, and it's not all piecemealed together.
Very cool. I can see you guys are helping a ton from the getting deals, marketing front, and getting people to get money in the door. And then products, I imagine with these different vendors, the different trailers, there are some nice discounts if they're a Royal Restrooms franchisee as opposed to some just independent person.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things, like I said, all of our offices kind of communicate and work together and they all want to succeed. And just because one office is doing this job today, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be a need down the line. For some people, sometimes that's hard to understand or wrap their head around, but it always comes full circle. And but especially when we have conferences like we did last week and they're able to share a drink, they're able to share a meal and break bread and have a laugh. It forms a bond that's, something that a normal, I guess, business can't really replicate.
Yeah, it sounds like you really foster a strong sense of franchise community, but in our conversation now and then offline, like I think a big part of that is you're very transparent, where you're sharing a lot of information, you're sharing a lot of details, and I'm sure that makes the franchisees feel comfortable to share with you and share with other franchisees.
It is, that was something that they talked about. They wanted a little more transparency, between the offices and stuff. But one thing that I have learned is the more transparent you are, especially against individual offices, owners, or, it's not just being transparent from our side, but when we're transparent about how they are, it
Yeah,
can put up that guard really quick. It's kind of like,
it's delicate.
hey, we did some online mystery shoppers. You didn't score quite as well. Whatever, I do this perfect. And it's like, hey, I'm just telling you what was given back to us. It's like we're trying to be transparent. We're trying to help you. This is not a knock on us. It's your job. It's your business. Ultimate goal is we want to help you. We're not judging. We're not criticizing. But a lot of times, when you are maybe too transparent, it doesn't foster the relationship that you want. It becomes ineffective, because it's,
Interesting. So
you
being
you
overly
can't get,
direct and probably how you communicate the findings and data.
and that's probably on me. that some of that's probably on me. It's like, okay, want to get through this, want to knock this out. And I tend to run off script. I don't stay on my script. And that's probably my ADHD that, I start going this way and that way. And my presentations are not always, they're a little more direct rather than sugar coated.
And your ideal franchisee, is it someone that's rolling up their sleeves and doing this full time? What's their like prior background? Tell me, I guess, a little bit about your ideal franchisee, David.
My ideal franchisee is someone who is going to work the business. It's so funny we don't actively market on a large scale. We don't go into the entrepreneur magazines and we don't advertise all this, and we don't pay a big broker to push us all out with everything. But so many times that when we look at franchisees, it's always, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for me? I want to find a franchisee that is going to put in the effort, somebody that's going to put in the work, somebody that is going to do it, that wants the results that they've produced. Hey, we're laying out the blueprint for you. You have to do it. And so we want the people that are going to put in the effort, they're going to put in the work and deserve the reward, not the person who is expecting because they paid this, that they're think that they're deserving of, what they haven't put into it, and so many times people, they expect what they haven't deserved because they haven't earned it, but it's hard to find that person. And we're fortunate that our owners have earned what they have received. They have put in the work, and that's why we're givers here 20 years later.
Not takers.
Yes. I want, and you talk to people all the time, and so many, when you have failed franchises and failed offices and stuff like that, those are the ones who usually put in the money, but they did not put in the effort.
Your first 2 years owning any business, whether it's a franchise or not, it should be 40, 60 hours a week, maybe more. And that's just what it's going to be like the first 2 years. So I think a lot of people set false expectations, or things get lost because there's intermediaries involved, or they saw some amazing ad on Entrepreneur magazine. And yeah, the reality, business is tough. If it was so easy, you would just keep opening corporate locations and just hire a bunch of managers and you went in franchise.
Exactly. That's who we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who wants to be recognized for what they put in, not for something they bought into.
I like that. Do you have any concluding thoughts for prospective franchisees that are looking at different businesses, whether it's Royal Restrooms or not?
Yes, I do. Dig deep. Don't find what first comes to your gut, or what you see might be there. So many people just jump on, I want to do this because it looks glamorous. There are hundreds of businesses out there that are truly more of a life business, something that you can build around and build a legacy around, but also have a good work-life balance and family balance. And a lot of times those are the companies out there that aren't spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing to try to get people, because we're not focused on just growing. We want to create a family. And I think there's so many other small businesses out there that have a wonderful foothold and genuine opportunity that they can grow together. That's one of the great things about us is we didn't know what we were doing from a franchise standpoint. A lot of our offices have grown with us, have learned with us, have taught with us, and shared in our ups and downs.
David, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you and get more information about owning Royal Restrooms franchise?
The easiest way is just to go to our website, royalrestrooms.com. You can also find the franchise link on the website, or you can call us at 800-969-7434, or you can always just email us at info@royalrestrooms.com, and somebody will direct you or take your information, and hopefully you're not in an area that we already are.
Well, David, thanks so much for your time, and we'll be sure to include links as well as the number in the show notes. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much for having me on today, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Thanks, David.